Hello, I am Leave Nelson B, musician for Lonely Ghost Records, and this is Talent with Alan. Here, we will go over recent Lonely Ghost releases, as well as those from affiliated artists, in a quest to get liner notes that you cannot get in a digital era. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, Little B, shout out to
Follow me
us.
back on Twitter,
Answer my
please.
emails too,
Yeah.
I
Hey
need that.
Scott,
I need that verse. You know, I really would love to do a remix of Ghost and Eureka Go though, if I can get those multi tracks sometime.
Yeah. What if I got a little bit of feature on an exciting, excellent song?
I would.
I think you could do it.
You
I'm not even
probably
joking.
could.
I think you could, like
Yeah,
100%. I think you should.
that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, like we've
I'll hit
already
him up.
had as a label. We already had a label. We already had a record purchased by Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. We've had we had the lead guitarist from Wonder Years, like record one of our band's records, like.
We're pretty.
moving up in the
We're pretty
world.
big. We're pretty big time.
You know,
Yeah, we're kind of one of those hella sweet labels that
Yeah.
just does a lot of hella sweet shit all the time.
It's just what we do.
Got a
We're-
lot of hella sweet folks just doing like some hella sweet stuff.
yeah,
Hella
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, and your second EP is also hella sweet.
Yeah, hella TYSM.
Yes, TYSM.
Yeah. It was
Oh.
huh?
It's definitely granted, like it's still an EP, but it's like I think at least twice as long as your last one.
It is. It's still it's just 4 tracks, but yeah, I think it clocks in at like 17 minutes.
yeah, but I love that.
about as long as the new Joyce Manor. Actually,
No,
wait,
it's-
is it longer? I don't know. But yeah, I think it's funny. There's definitely albums that are shorter in time, and there are EPs that have like fewer songs that are longer.
I think it may just be the same length as my like my second proper LP for Lonely Ghost.
Hell yeah.
I think it just might be maybe just a little bit shorter, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes shorter.
Well, I wanted to do some long-winded stuff. People seem to really respond a lot to Theme from Beach Justice on the last one, and really liked the kind of ambient slow stuff. So that's what I had in mind when I was making these songs, for sure. Was like, I'm just gonna groove on this for a long ass time and see where it goes.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's pretty much where Soar Spirit of Peace Justice came from.
yeah. I really do like that song because you do really do explore like where that melody can go. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now you have to like preset that, right? Like that's like the first, yeah. So like you knew ahead of time that you wanted to like explore these songs like a little more.
Yeah, well, and that song too is a little interesting too, because it was definitely the last one to come together for the EP, was Soar Spirit of Peace Justice. And yeah, like you said, the way my songwriting works, I'll usually have everything like lyrics and guitar written before I start making the chip track, because I have to make the chip track in a way that like complements that. So I usually have what I want to do in mind. Not that I don't still do some experimentation while I'm making the chip track, but this time I just kind of like went for it on the Game Boy. And I've been doing this a lot more lately too with the newer stuff that I'm working on, is like not having a set vision in mind when I start, and just kind of like seeing what comes out of the Game Boy track and then trying to write stuff around that, or
That's really cool.
refining it from there. So that's definitely becoming more of my workflow now, and you'll see that in like newer stuff too. But yeah, like I said, that was the last one that I put together for this EP. And I think it came together really well. It honestly was almost not going to be on the EP. I didn't know if this was something that really fit or if I wanted to shelve it, but it ended up being one of my favorite tracks on the EP as like, you know, for one that I wasn't even very excited about at first. It turned out really cool, I think.
It is really cool. The guitars on it are really soft, but also really hard where they need to be. It's like very
Thanks.
like like perfect.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
velocity and plucking strings is actually very, very appropriate, like on every single track on this one.
Thank you. Yeah. That's something I really try to play with a lot, with the fact that I'm doing both like the synth instruments that I have to pre-program, but also like, you know, the live instruments that I can have a little more human touch with.
It's a great mix.
Yeah,
Thank
I do like
you.
the Androidy like feel that I get from it, especially on Ice Key, where like it's almost like, you know, digital. Now you have like a heavy analog component with, you know, it's like being in Prague, you know, where it's like you have all the classic buildings that are like, you know, potentially like thousands of years old, but you have like lots of high tech stuff like outside and inside of them, augmenting them and stuff like that, like a Deus Ex game, basically, you know. And that's what I came from this EP. Now, when I first listened to it, I got really excited, but now now I get like a like melancholic tone, you know, and
Good.
it definitely
Yeah.
reads through with subsequent listens, you know, where it's like, oh, this is some real shit, like type of shit, you know what I mean?
It's definitely something I was hoping to accomplish, especially like with Ice Key. Like the whole concept for that one musically started just with the second half of that song, where it's just a little click with the guitar riff, and I kind of just built everything else off of that. Because yeah, I wanted to do something a bit more chill. I wanted to do something that felt more like kind of really taking advantage of the Game Boy as like, as you would use like a drum machine in a live setup, and just be kind of minimalist about it, and see what really complements each other based off of that. Like, yeah, I've had that guitar riff for years. I just never had anything that I wanted to. I actually think I wrote that guitar riff right when I moved to Portland. I think I wrote it like the same week that I got here in 2019, and I've just been sitting on it. And I would just practice that one to a metronome all the time, and so I just got used to hearing it with a little click, and then I was like, wait, I can make the Game Boy do that, and then that was how I started working on that song.
That's really cool. That's such a weird, interesting way to like for a song to evolve like that.
Yeah, like I'm definitely trying. I mean, this project isn't that old, so I wouldn't say I have like one set workflow for I haven't quite fallen into a formula yet that I could really say exciting excellent follows, but I'm getting there. I'm definitely working some stuff out, especially with this one. Disappearing, the first track, is probably the last of the I wrote this song completely start to finish on guitar and then wrote the chiptune song, because I really do consider that one to be like basically a direct part two to the first EP. And that's how the whole first EP was written. I wrote the whole thing on guitar and wrote all the vocals, and then went in and wrote the chiptune. So this is I guess that makes this kind of like a transition EP in terms of my writing style.
That's pretty cool.
But
I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
We're getting a thrash metal EP next time, or like
It's definitely gonna be darker.
Yeah,
The
where do you
next-
see it going?
Uh, the next. I mean, honestly, I've been thinking about doing an album. I've been thinking about doing an LP, like a full. I would want to do something really conceptual, and I have some ideas floating around for how I would do that and what kind of themes I would incorporate into that. But I still don't know if I like need to write like 9 songs in order to accomplish that, you know? Like the first EP is 3 songs because that was what I felt that needed to be. I didn't think that that story needed more than that. And that's how I feel about this EP too, is that like, yeah, it's as long as it needs to be. And I've been resistant to the idea of ever doing an album in the past. I would say I'm kind of warming up to the idea of making an album. I would just want it to be something that I would be really proud of.
Willing to perform over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, it would have to be really, really solid. I'd have to have a really good concept. And like I said, I have some ideas that I've been kicking around. So it might happen, but I do know the stuff I'm working on right now, which you'll hear on tour for those of you listening who are gonna be on the East Coast next month. Come out and see me. Yeah, you'll definitely hear those new songs soon, but as far as where they will eventually end up, I don't know if that's gonna end up being an EP or an LP. I'm leaning towards LP.
Do you have a timeline, or is that still up in the air?
That's also still kind of up in the air. I mean,
I get it.
like I said, I tend to not do much recording work during the summers because my room gets really hot. So probably in the winter when I only have like 7 hours of sunlight a day, I'll be more inclined to sit in my room and bust out an album.
Yeah, that's right. You're at a higher latitude than us.
Yeah, that's the thing. We you know, the summers are cool because it stays light out till like 10:30, and then in the winter the sun goes down at like 3:30. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it
remember-
is.
Yeah, I lived in England for a good amount of my 20s. And like literally you'll go out to the club and the sun's still out and you'll come home and it's rising. Like
Yeah, it's really weird.
That was surreal. Like
Yeah, we're not quite that far north here, but it's still definitely noticeable. Definitely for me coming from Texas, where I'm used to it. I'm used to the days just being like the same length, more or less, all year round, and very jarring up here. But anyway, yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, let's talk about that. Like, how has like moving up north like influenced your writing style besides the seasonal heat?
Oh geez. Definitely have a lot of different perspectives on things. I mean, a lot has happened in that time too. That's the thing, you know. I moved up here in 2019, and then after that we had like a lot of national unrest happening.
Especially where you're at, yeah. Like there was a lot of
Yeah,
stuff going on.
this is a popular destination for Patriot Front and Proud Boys and other such dorks. You know, which is a little unnerving and makes me less inclined to go out on certain days. Like yesterday, I was not trying to leave my house at all.
Kept on
'cause-
getting woken up by the
Jeez.
fireworks. Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, I would say that like really what has affected my ability to write more than anything else is the fact that I am finally in like a really stable environment with regards to my housing, my relationships, you know, my life is pretty cool at the moment. And so I like have time to be able to write music. I mean, it sounds crazy, but yeah, when your material needs are actually being met, it turns out it
Yeah, you're
makes
a
you more
happier person.
creative.
About that,
That's
yeah.
so weird.
You have less to worry about. Man, I can actually think about stuff that I like to do.
Yeah, and you know, so I mean, moving up here was stressful in and of itself. And then when I got here, you know, I was still trying to like figure shit out. There was a lot of weird interpersonal drama that was very stressful. But now, like, yeah, I have a house to record in. I have a wonderful family. My animals are here. Life is cool. So that's why you're seeing my music now, is because shit calms down for me. So that's probably the biggest thing that moving up here and getting settled has done for my writing, is it's made me like more able to do that at a relaxed pace.
Well, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me personally, like getting signed to Lonely Ghost at the stage that it was probably the single most like motivating factor it was for me making music. You know, again at the rate that I'm currently am doing it, and I will say in particular, 2.0 was influenced by me going to therapy, and 3.0 and 3.x, I think those exist because of Holy Kerouac, my friendship of
Oh yeah, really?
Of Holy Kerouac, yes, and yeah, because like I just released 2.0 and I'm feeling pretty. I'm on my shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my shit, and you know, and we had like a few releases after. I think Shaq Lab released one. I'm like, yeah, I'm still on my shit, you know. And then Closer Now
Hell
Than
yeah.
Ever came out, and I'm like, man, fuck, I can't do this. So like I full on like just bought a brand new computer, like built it myself and everything, in response to this one record that that
Yeah,
I'm like obscenely jealous of. And
that's
not to
awesome.
mention, like, you know, I'm feeling myself, but then like just so I turned in the record in November, and literally 3 weeks later, Lavender House comes out.
Yeah.
and I'm hating myself again. Like, oh God, like I'm gonna follow this in less than a month. Are you serious? Like, man, that was a humbling time for
Shout out Sophia.
yeah, funeral homes, like,
Shoegaze forever.
you know. But yeah, Mars like got me to like I got a new workflow, an entire new workflow, you know, because of Closer Now Than Ever.
That's so awesome. I love hearing that. Like that's how artists need to be with each other, is like, don't be competitive, just like let it motivate you though. I
Yeah,
think that's a really healthy attitude.
yeah, I agree.
Because I'll
It's-
hear some records sometimes, and I'll get really mad, but not like actually mad, but just like, fuck, they made the thing I wanted to make, but better.
They're so humble about it too. Like it just came
Yeah.
out of them, out of nowhere.
Well, and of course, what you're not seeing is all the time and work and all the stuff that didn't make the cut and all the stuff they did leading up to that. You just get to see their one crowning achievement and be like, oh shit. But you know, they probably had similar experiences along the way too, where they heard something that motivated them to keep going and make that record. And like,
and they probably still feel that way. They're probably listening to
they
someone
probably
else
still
and
feel
being
that
like,
way. Yeah.
fuck, why can't I do that? Like
It's a
it never-
really,
Almost
It's
never
a
have.
really common attitude, actually. Most artists are not going around being like, yeah, well, my stuff's just the best, and I don't need to listen to anything else now because I am the best. No, everyone's always like, damn, this blows my shit out of the water every time you hear something really good. And then yeah, go make something better.
Just like when I first heard the Marrier EP, when an LP rather, I was just like, man, fuck this guy. Who the hell is this guy? Now I gotta be friends with him.
And now we get breakfast together,
Yeah.
do podcasts.
God. But yeah, like same thing with like mostly everybody on the label, really. You know, that is still on the label. But yeah, like, yeah, it's just. Like,
I'm
how-
literally jealous of every single one of you.
I know everyone does something at every there's always aspects from like, I wish I could do
See,
that like them. Like,
Here's my struggle. I'm always like, damn, y'all are out here doing like real music, and I'm just playing with Game Boys.
no, that's almost like I can't even like comprehend how you do that. Every time I listen, I always tell my partner Kayla, like, I don't know how. It's like
that's literally how I feel about the Marrier though, and like everyone else on this label is like, I don't know how y'all are doing this shit, but it's so cool.
No, just like I remember somewhere out there, like
Mm-hmm.
not only does everything like else like just perfect, but that is probably my favorite vocal performance from you.
Thank you.
You know, and I'm like, how the fuck did you do this? Like how do you concept this song like that? And it's like a way of thinking that I can never know that flow chart of your mind, you know?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely put my whole pussy into that one. I have loved that song for a long ass time. I've loved Brave Little Abacus for a long ass time. Obviously, like my project would not exist if I had never heard Brave Little Abacus, but specifically that song. Actually, a friend showed me the YouTube video of their last show, and it's the last song that they play is 45 minutes. And it just blew my fucking mind when I saw it for the first time. And yeah, one of the things I love about that band, obviously the vocals. The vocal performance on that track is amazing. And so that's something that really influences not just how I try to do vocals in that song, but also just like in general. Like I'm definitely trying to rip off the dude from Brave Little Abacus with just about every vocal part that I write. So I wanted to do this cover and like try to do some justice to it, because it was a really, really impactful song for me when I heard it.
Yeah, that was a great vocal performance, among everything else involved with that track. And even like the increased BPM on the first track is just like a genius move. I remember I was sitting at work at my hidden spot, because I have my hidden spot at work where I get to like look at the Natural History Museum and cultural gardens and shit. And like I just was like losing my mind, going like, what the fuck, man? Like it was like my first time hearing like Schoolboy Q or something like that. Like it was just I was just amazed by like this like little sensible choices like that. And this
Thank you.
And this like has a lot of great choices, from like the bringing in the guitars on Ice Key, to having that low point and Beach Justice, and like it's just a lot of really like little choices that make it as like computational it may be, it does bring in a lot of human element to it. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yeah, I really tried to go a lot more conceptual on this one and really kind of push my songwriting too. The thing I like about working on the Game Boy is that it actually makes a lot of sense to my brain as far as like sketching a song out, so I can kind of keep track of all the parts that I'm writing very easily. It just makes more sense to me than a DAW. I mean, I could just record these ideas all in a DAW, but these days, like, so much easier for me to just pick up my Game Boy and like punch in a few
Awesome.
notes, and
It's so
then
cool.
like I have a bunch of little scratch ideas floating around on my cartridge now that I'm sure one day will be made into songs, or might just become part of like a DJ set, because I've been doing that more and I think that's really fun, and I want to do more like just straight up chiptune shows too.
That'd be sick.
Um,
I'd love to see that. I'd love to work
yeah.
that.
Huh?
I'd love to like work like at the
Oh, yeah.
soundboard for like and just push the subs like with that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Goofy,
totally.
like little 8-bitty like
Uh-huh.
kicks. Like it's awesome. Like I love it.
Mhm. Yeah, I developed a little like a little 20-minute set a couple months ago that I think is pretty cool. It's just kind of seeing if I could do that kind of thing. And I don't know, maybe I'll do more of it and like release a thing with it, or do some performances just with the Game Boy.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You could do it.
I need to do another internet live set. Even though I didn't get to see my last one.
No.
I really wanted
But
to
I
see
did,
them.
and it was really cool.
I really need like to have somebody do makeup for me or something like that. If I'm just going to be sitting here, you know.
There you go.
But yeah, like I would love to see. If you ever do come to Cleveland, you have a place to stay. So just so you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
you need to come.
I'm-
You need to do
I'm-
a show here.
I'm definitely gonna come to a show there. It's just a matter of when I can get over there.
Hope you like guys in camo cargo shorts, because that's a big thing over here.
Oh really? Never seen that before. Hey, do you have those guys that wear like the shirt with the Zelda crest on it, the Hyrule?
Only if they
Crest.
don't also
There's
have
gotta
a
be.
tattoo.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
Yeah, and they probably also have a Zelda tattoo somewhere.
Not that I know. I don't know anyone, but they're very likely.
Really? Never been to you never been to a show at the Agora? There's like Zelda tattoos everywhere. Like just everywhere.
I've only been to 2.
Oh, man. Yeah.
What do you think is sexier on a man? A Zelda tattoo or a Star Wars tattoo?
Star Wars.
Are we
Yeah.
talking about the rebel emblem versus the Triforce? Because I
Take your pick. Take your
or,
pick.
or are we talking about the Hylian shield versus the rebel or the Empire? Because I think the Empire logo is actually pretty dope.
Okay.
It is.
So
it's
you
cool.
see so you see someone with a tattoo, it's the Empire from Star Wars.
I think
My first thought
I
would
like the Zelda
be-
one. I think I like the Zelda one more because I don't want to get into a 20-minute discussion of how the Last Jedi was a bad movie or some bullshit. You know,
I'm just saying I would probably not feel safe around someone that thinks like the Empire is cool.
It's like
because just speaking on a way that like.
Oh, you like the Nazi guys? You think the Nazi guys are really cool, huh?
Well, no,
That's interesting.
just like the fans. Like don't get me wrong. Nothing's wrong about liking Star Wars. Like, but some of the fans get real emotional about the dumbest shit. You know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like the biggest thing that I think was like a problem with the Zelda fans was when Wind Waker came out, and they eventually got over it because it is one of the best Zelda
This
games.
is
ever
amazing.
made. Yeah.
And it rules.
And kids loved it, and guess what? It's a kids game, so like
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it was a good game.
yeah, it was
It was
great. I loved
really
it, yeah.
good.
I
Uh-huh.
still love it.
Yeah, I remember when Majora's Mask. Oh, I remember when Majora's Mask came out, and everybody hated that game. But I think it's now
Uh-huh.
it's now accepted as like a top tier Zelda game. Not to mention like existentially how the story progresses, you know. But
Mhm.
but yeah, I think the Zelda tattoo I'm going to be more attracted to.
I at least wouldn't
fair.
feel I wouldn't feel as threatened by a Zelda tattoo.
Yeah, an Empire tattoo. You gotta really like the Empire.
That one, I'm gonna be looking to see if you got any other tattoos,
Yeah.
if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. I'm gonna want to see some of your other tattoos.
What other symbols do you find interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
But yeah, like
That's
yeah,
fair.
that's but the live show culture here is kind of weird. I think Jake will know better than I do, you know. But like, because I go to like Mahal shows and shit like that, and I went to the
Well,
House of Blues for quite a while until it closed down. Peabody's was awesome, but yeah, like the live show culture can be kind of weird here, you know.
It's a
Especially
mixed
if you're-
bag.
Yeah, imagine being the only black guy at a rap show in Cleveland. Everybody wants to talk to you and justify
Yeah.
their music taste for you.
Hey, hey, real quick, can you just like tell me I'm good? Tell me I'm good. I just tell me I'm good, please.
Hey, listen to this bar real quick.
Am I doing okay? Like just in my life? Am I just do you think I'm good?
I want to hear your perspective. No reason.
That's kind of that's the same thing as like when I'm in a room full of cis people and everyone's introducing themselves and then one lady looks at me in particular and then tells me her pronouns after no one else mentioned their pronouns. And then I get to be just like, cool, I'll try to remember that.
Yeah.
The only black guy at the rap show is just it's a burden. It's a burden you have because you have to be nice because you're representing the entire race at this point.
You are.
You know? I think we're getting humped by Jake at the moment. So like,
There's a chip stuck in my computer and I need to get it out or else it'll be stuck in there forever. I'm sorry.
those Chipotle chips, they're sneaky.
I don't know how it got in there, but it's in there.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's a burden and a responsibility because you have to be amicable
Yeah.
and shit. Sometimes I just buy a VIP ticket just to like escape any interaction with people that I may have, you know. But you can't do that in like Beachland Ballroom or the Grog Shop. You're just gonna be on the floor for everybody else, and
Mhm.
you know, like I just try to be as least.
As soon as you walk in, everyone's just like making a beeline.
Oh yeah. Oh God, man. I have some bad memories of being the only black guy at rap shows. Some
Oh,
bad
I'm sure
memories.
that sounds like it sucks.
Yeah, it does. It does. But if I'm the only black guy at the middle show, nobody says a shit to me. Like nobody says a damn thing to me. Everybody leaves
Yeah.
me the fuck alone. And I'm usually able to get to the front of the pit relatively easily if I'm the only black guy at the middle show. I don't
Yeah, I
understand
feel
why.
I feel like in that respect, metal fans are a bit more chill about it. They're not quite as weird about shit like that. At least in my experience.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird, you know. But usually, if I go to Mahals, everybody leaves me alone. In fact, people don't even recognize that I've been there for 3 weeks in a row. The bartender just like, hey, you've been here before? I'm like, yeah, I was here. But never mind, I'll take it.
Mahal's is my favorite place to mix easily because it's definitely the chillest. So if you come to Cleveland, you should try Mahal's.
Hell yeah, definitely will.
I don't know how well they pay though, so that's just. I heard
I don't
things
know
about
either.
Bravo. Not terrible things though. I think my friend Brad, his band played there, and he had no complaints. They actually put him in the front stage, which was actually pretty nice.
Well, it might be a minute till I'm able to get out there anyway, so we'll see. Unless someone listening to this wants to take me on tour, I'm like very available.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Eichlers.
Yeah.
I wanna-
Hit me up next time, Eichlers.
I need that Icon Jazz
Hi.
tour, Midwest tour.
Yeah. let's do hyper ska emo chiptune.
We'll call it the
That'd
two
be
time
awesome.
zone tour. I love it.
Yeah, let's totally do it. I'll do chiptune remixes of Eichler songs.
Actually, I actually
we'll
want to
fucking tear that
challenge.
shit up.
I actually want to challenge Eichler to a remix contest. Well,
Yeah!
somebody.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if they'll turn out that well though. At least not for me.
Yeah.
How is your live setup set up? Is it just like your Game Boy into like a DI?
Yeah, I have a mixer that I run it through.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, I have that, and then I also have I'll hook my iPad up as like a little soundboard so I can do some samples.
Okay.
Like the samples in Ice Key, I do those live.
That's sick. That's cool.
Yeah, because that Commander Cisco line, it makes the whole song for me.
It does bring it together. It really does.
Yeah, I'm a big Star Trek nerd, and I particularly love that episode and that moment. Just seems like that is a perfect emo album line. You know?
I agree.
So the song isn't complete if it's not there. So I was like, I'm not doing live shows unless I can recreate all of this.
So all this is in mind when you go to compose stuff, like how
yeah.
it's going to translate. Okay.
Oh yeah, I definitely write everything with the intent of playing it live by myself. The guitar parts I do a lot with a loop pedal in order to accomplish some of like the multi-part stuff. I'm able to get MIDI out information from the Game Boy using a little doodad called a Arduino Boy, and then that basically talks to my loop pedal and gives it tempo sync information.
What the fuck?
And it also sends like command change signals so it can like set it to the correct patch. Because like for Go To Final Boss, for example, there's that part that's in 7/4 time at the beginning. So it changes the patch to one that I have programmed that's in 7/4 time and is the right tempo. And so then everything will just like lock to the song, and I don't have to worry about it fucking up when I'm playing live, which was
That's crazy cool.
Yeah, that
I
is
know,
pretty cool.
right? I think it's awesome. And there's very few people I can tell about this that will actually like care about it or know why that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's crazy. I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a strength of not going with a DAW too. You know, like.
Yeah. I mean, I use a DAW for recording, obviously. I do all my own mixing and Reaper.
You just don't write it in the DAW.
Yeah,
I just don't write it in the DAW. I write it all on the Game Boy and in my notebook and in my head.
Well, I was thinking the same thing as Nelson though. I thought you also mixed it and it would send it out to the Game Boy. So now it's making sense.
Yeah. So I like the Game Boy is there on stage with me. I'm playing stuff out through the Game Boy, and the stuff that I don't want to give too much away, but the stuff on the Game Boy side of things, the live set, it's a little different from what's on the records. So there's a little bit of kind of live remixing and stuff going on.
Oh, that's cool.
That I can do. So yeah, like LSDJ has a live mode. You can like queue up and repeat loops of chains if you want. So I can mute and solo different channels.
Damn.
Yeah, there's lots of fun stuff you could do as far as doing live chiptune in a way that's like feels very alive and engaged, and isn't just me going up and hitting one button and then my whole set plays.
Yeah, it seems to be like just a feat of it itself. Like you like maximize the capabilities of these things, you know.
that was the idea. That was the whole point of this project, was like, how can I make a band with just myself? And what's going to be the easiest way to do that? And
Done a
so
good job.
it just turned into a chiptune band after that. I didn't even originally have chiptune in mind when I started this project.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
I
that.
was just like, oh, maybe this is
Yeah.
the path of least resistance here, is I'll just get really into chiptune. And
That's
then
cool.
yeah.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. So kind of backwards. I didn't want to make a chiptune band first, and then it turned into this solo project. I wanted a solo project and might as well make it chiptune.
I mean, the best way I describe, like, especially the progression from the first EP to the second one, is like we went from like Happy Jack, you know, type of Who song, to like We Won't Get Fooled Again type of Who song, you know, and
Hell yeah.
in a period of like, you know, like a couple years, as opposed to waiting 20, you know,
Yeah.
like, and yeah, like there's definitely really like, it's just a bigger sound and more like orchestrated type of thing. And the fact that you have to have like all this figured out, you know, whether it be like, you know, you write on guitar first. By the way, what guitar do you use? That's one thing always wanted to ask you.
I play a Fender Tele Deluxe on pretty much everything on this record. I also have a Strat that's like not really a Strat. The body and the neck are original, but everything else is kind of like pulled from other scrap guitars that I was able to find when I was younger.
That's cool.
So it's not as great, but sometimes I use it if I want something to sound very Strat-ish. But yeah, mostly it's the Tele these days.
Well, it used to be a popular punk guitar. I'm not sure if it is anymore.
Oh, Teles are still pretty popular,
Okay.
I'd say.
I know I some people use Jazz Masters now, especially the new ones. They look fucking sweet.
They
But,
do.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Joe Strummer used a Fender Telecaster. You know, I think Kim Gordon uses one when she does her solo work. Well, she will only do solo work because Sonic Youth is definitely not going to be a thing anymore. But
Mhm.
but yeah, like it sounds bigger. It sounds bigger, and it's like more amazing that, you know, like that is of what's involved in making this and how astute you are in your like custom program language in which these songs came out of, you know.
I'm really glad to hear that, because like the instrumentation is actually a lot more limited this time around than on the first EP. Like the first EP, I had a song with live drums. I had live bass on all of those tracks. I only used bass on 2 tracks on the second EP, and there's no live drums. And so
It really works.
thank you. I'm trying to go more in that direction. I have been playing with the idea of, what if one day Exciting Excellent had a full band?
Yeah.
That could be cool. The person that did the drums for Go To Final Boss, Cassie Baker, shout out, my bestie. Yeah, she said she would totally go on tour with me, so I might take her up on that.
That'd be cool.
And make it a full band. But there's a lot more logistics to solve with that. Not the least of which is the fact that she lives in Texas. So
Going live is like a really, really big jump, like with a full band. Like it's tough.
I mean, I don't know. We've been. I think for me personally, I think our label's been on a tear like since the beginning of the year with the Marriers release. You know, like
it's been
yeah.
banger after banger.
Yeah.
Damn. That feels like forever. That feels like years ago at this point.
Right?
Doesn't feel like this year.
Yeah. I mean, to
Well,
me, the all remixes feels like a year old, especially my Get Tough remixes. Seem like such a forever time ago, and it's like only about 6-7 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
God, it's making my head hurt.
Oh yeah. I mean, basically, me and Mars finished our record this time last year, I think. You know, and
Oh dang.
yeah. And like I can't wait till you guys hear that, because that was made mostly from. I think there was only like 2 tracks made specifically for that record. Everything else was like cutting room floor stuff that I just was like, it's not that good. It ended up being good to somebody. So
I'm really excited.
My
oh,
first EP turns a year old this month.
Oh, that's
Wow.
wild.
Yeah,
it is wild, man.
on the 31st.
That's my birthday.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
Well,
you're doing something for that, right?
yeah. So locally in Portland, I'm going to be having a little house show to celebrate. Also, some friends coming through on tour. Shout out Carter C, Monkey and the Pyramid Virgins. They're gonna be here. And we're gonna have tapes for the first EP for the first time ever, and they're gonna feature
Hell yeah.
some remixes by this guy.
If you
And
call
I'm
them that.
super excited for people to hear him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you're only gonna be able to hear him on the tapes. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that is
I need
pretty
a
cool.
tape. I need a tape big time.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make sure I have some to sell here, but also I know that there are also some that already exist that are going to be available online. I'm
Awesome.
super excited about it. Yeah. Nelson did such a good job on all the remixes.
That was probably the most nerve-wracking project I ever did. Like,
It was super cool. Yeah, I was really blown away by all the tracks that she did. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on those. That reminds me, I gotta email John.
but yeah, I'm definitely buying one as soon as they become available. I have a lot of our tapes. You know, I really do. I think I have the Marriott, I believe.
I don't think I did tapes.
You don't think you did tapes? Because somebody's tape broke. I stepped on it on accident.
Oh no!
Did I do tapes? I don't even remember anymore.
I think it was either you or a healthy alternative for better living.
I don't know.
Because
I don't remember.
I think they only re-released those once, and I'm not getting another one because they don't exist. But yeah, I was putting together my latest computer. It was just named White Power because it's white, and
Yeah.
and yeah, I like dropped my case, and when I did that and tried to catch it, I just stepped on the tape that fell all over.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. Cause like, I think it did come with a download code, so I have the music, but
Mm-hmm.
What the tape?
Yeah, I bought this tape player that I want to use. Just like that record player in the background there. Like I buy records to use it. Like,
Mhm.
But it's like I don't know. I feel like a tape is such like a childhood thing for me. Like. I don't know if you ever like sat at your like boom box and just held pause button on a held a pause button until your request came in, if it came in,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a nostalgic thing for me. The tapes, I love those
Definitely.
songs.
I love tapes.
But I hated listening to like a bunch of like oh my god, what was that, like Cranberry songs in order to get to my I requested Nirvana like a half hour ago. What the hell's going on?
Yeah. I had hit clips.
Hit
That was my
clips?
first form of music media. The
It
parents
wasn't
got
even
me-
the
yeah.
whole song, wasn't it? Like,
No, you get like 30 seconds.
I don't even
Like a
remember
30-second
it, but
clip.
that was my that's what
Awesome.
I had.
I'm pretty sure like 90% of the hit clips, like the covers on them, featured men with frosted tips.
Yeah, like
That's a safe
NSYNC
bet.
that was the time. That was a frosted tippy time.
Mm.
I mean, just like the act of making music itself, I get decision fatigue a lot sooner than anything else. Like it's just you have to make so many decisions, and it's just
And
you know,
we all do it ourselves, and like just
yeah,
hitting stop and play and editing it and having to listen to it yourself is really tough. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I see in most other things when you have two branching paths, like unlike everything else in music, you can actually go down both of them. You know what I mean? And
That was the guiding principle of my last band. Whenever we were trying to make a decision, one of us would just look at the rest of the group and be like, "Por qué no los dos?"
let's make it all
Just do both.
just do both.
yeah.
Just do both.
Okay.
Why not both?
Yeah.
And that was one of our guiding principles was por qué no los dos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also like the curse of it. You can just keep going.
Yeah,
It's like hard to know when to
True.
stop
Yeah.
and like, but whatever.
I think it's better
Well,
when
you
you're by
stop-
yourself.
Yeah, you stop when you've done all of the ideas. When you're out of ideas, then you stop.
You know that, and like I usually go down rabbit holes until it's like not fun anymore. And especially with sampling is way easier than me composing a track from scratch, because usually when I compose a track from scratch, it usually starts with one chord. You know,
Mhm.
it starts with one chord, and how can I progress that chord in a way that is not common? Basically, like how can I avoid what is it, like the 1-5-6-4 or something like that?
Mhm.
Like just the standard chord structure of like most pop songs. But yeah, basically just one chord, and how can I do this in a way that is like pretty much against all normal conventions? You know what I mean?
I get that.
You know, whereas if I have a sample, it's easy. It's easy. You know, that's my wheelhouse.
Like, I like when people give me drums and I don't have to do them, because like I hate doing drums and like
I love drums.
and like
though.
it just makes it like it makes my life. I relax more with the song. Like it's like I'm not worried about it. Like and
Drums are
especially
so-
jazz.
It's so
the-
great.
I like mixing them. I don't like recording them. I
think
love
made
mixing
a
drums.
drum sound of like just like a cigarette lighter hitting like a coffee cup or something like that. That was my snare on one of my songs.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, and as long as you know how to like fuck with it, you know, it's heavily compressed. Trust me, but you know, it got done when it needed to get done. You know.
Hey, just turn it what you need. Turn it into what you need it to be.
Mhm.
So, Jake, what's your favorite song on this last EP?
Ice Key. I love Ice Key.
I do
think
too.
agree.
It's a good one. It's
And-
definitely I think the one I'm most proud of in terms of like its overall composition.
And maybe Beach Justice too, because I really like when you have that soft guitar. It's like I've like listened to that and like thought to myself, like, how do I get that kind of sound? Like it's so like I don't even really know how to describe it.
Thank you.
That's why I asked you for your pedal board setup the one night, because I was listening and I was like, how did I get that fucking sound? Like how did you get that? Like
Yeah, I'm just recording through a Vox AC15.
okay, those are
It's
nice.
just- yeah, that's just how they sound.
It sounds awesome. And it
Thank
really
you.
works.
I do that, and I have a DI box, so I'm recording the DI at the same time,
Very cool. Yeah.
and so that's how in mixing I can keep those highs in there
Mm.
and keep it from sounding too muddy.
That's really
but it's
smart. I
like
should
it's
keep doing
the
that.
same, but it's because it's like the same take. It doesn't really sound like too layered,
Yeah.
rather than like separately tracking a DI track.
Do you invert the phase on one of them?
No,
Is that a thing? Because I don't. That's a thing. Like I've been trying to learn about, and I don't understand how it works. I mean, I get how it works, but I don't. The situation on when to use them, I'm not really. So that's why I asked.
yeah, I mean, I'll still double track.
Like, you'll do it again.
Yeah, I'll double track everything.
Yeah.
It's just I'm recording 2 tracks every time,
Okay.
and then I'll end up with 4 to mix left and right. And
Very cool.
yeah.
I love hearing about how
And
that
just
kind of stuff gets done.
Thank you. I get really embarrassed about it because I feel like I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing and no one should listen to me. But
That's how I feel. I mean, I don't know. Like, but you're
like
making
we were
it. I
talking
mean,
about earlier, though, it's like I think everyone feels that way.
yeah, you just do your
Everyone-
best.
Yeah, everyone feels like they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Jake is being very, very, very fucking humble, and he needs to stop it.
No,
Yeah.
like, like, well, live sound. I've got live sound down pretty well, but recording is like a whole different beast. And like, I'm
Mhm,
still
it
learning a lot
is.
about how to do it right, how to get like the sounds I want, like inverting. Like I know how to like in live situations, inverting the phase is really simple, but in the box recording, it's so different. I usually don't hear a difference at all. So like,
Yeah, I don't ever really notice much of one either, but yeah, like I said, I just double track.
Yeah.
Everything.
and like, it's the like the things I do in live sound I wouldn't do in recording.
Right.
So it's like almost like not what I
Mhm.
learned. Like you can take those skills and kind of mix them, but it's not always applicable.
Right. Right.
But I think the act of like live recording, you're able to do like dream shit. You know what I mean? Whereas like in a studio, you're mastering for a medium. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure.
Oh, speaking of mastering, who mastered this EP?
A friend of mine on Twitter. Try to find her at real quick, but name's Jesse Scott.
Yeah, because this has a good even sound from beginning to end. Whoever did this did a good job.
Yeah.
And also, your vocal
Well-
mixing is also pretty damn good.
Yeah, the credits are on the Bandcamp.
This has been Telling with Ellen with Jazz at Super Excite Bike.
Super Excite Bike on Twitter, Exciting Excellent on Instagram, and Bandcamp and Spotify.
And
All that good stuff.
and what are you at the Marriott 515 or
505? Yeah.
505?
Yeah.
All right, look out for the re-release of the tapes of the last EP for the
Mhm.
year anniversary. And
Oh, and we're
East
also
Coast
gonna
Stiller.
maybe do another run of the EP2 tapes as well. Whenever
Cool.
that happens, just
Yeah.
keep an eye out.
that'll be
If
fantastic.
you didn't get one, I didn't even get one. But might get one next time because I told John to make more because should have more.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you,
boys.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to
for
do this
having me.
again.
Yeah. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Y'all
right.
take care today.